Hi, my name is Shelly, and welcome back to another episode of Just a Girl and Her Healing podcast. Today's conversation is going to be raw, unfiltered, and vulnerable. I want to take you into the shadows, into the places we often hide, the places we're afraid to name. Because the truth is, depression has a dark side that isn't often talked about. It's heavy, it's suffocating, and it's something I've known too intimately through my own life. Before we go there, I want to invite you to take a moment to ground yourself with me. If you're able, close your eyes, unclench your jaw, let your shoulders soften. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it gently at the top, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Begin when you're ready. And as you breathe, imagine roots growing from the sole of your feet into the earth. Steady, strong, unshakable. Feel the ground holding you up. Feel your body supported. You are safe here. You are not alone in this space. Now that we're grounded, let's begin. I didn't grow up with the kind of childhood that left me feeling seen, held, or protected. From early on, I knew abandonment. I knew rejection. I knew what it felt like to cry myself to sleep, wondering why love felt so far away. As a child, I carried wounds that no child should have ever had to carry. I watched people who were supposed to nurture me walked away. I felt the sting of not being chosen, of being left behind, of wondering what was wrong with me. And then there was the abuse. When I tried to tell my father what had happened to me, when I tried to speak my truth, I was silenced. He didn't believe me. Do you know what that does to a child when they finally whisper their deepest wound and the person that they trusted the most doesn't believe them? It breaks something inside you. It tells you that your voice is dangerous, that your pain doesn't matter. It tells you as a child that you are invisible. And when you're little, you don't know how to separate someone else's choices from your worth. You just think, it must be me. I must not be lovable enough. I must not be enough to stay for. That kind of pain plants seeds that grow into silence, shame, and self-blame. Seeds that over time turn into the suffocating vines of depression. Depression for me wasn't just sadness. It was heaviness. It was waking up in the morning with no desire to move. It was pretending to be okay while inside everything was collapsing. It was being in a room full of people and still feel invisible. It was nights where I prayed to God to just take the pain away because living felt unbearable. Every wound from childhood became a ghost that haunted me as an adult. The rejection turned into self-doubt. The abandonment turned into fear of intimacy. The silence turned into my own inability to speak my truth. And so depression wasn't just about feeling sad. It was about carrying every unhealed part of myself like a weight chained to my soul. I want to be honest with you about just how dark it got for me. I was only 16 years old the first time I tried to end my life. Trust me, I didn't want to die. I wanted the pain to stop, I wanted to take back what I told my father if I knew he wasn't going to believe me about being sexually abused. I felt like I was trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. Let me tell you something. It was the loneliest, most terrifying moment of my life. But you know what I did? I survived that. But life didn't magically get easier, okay? I grew up. I got married. I tried to build a family. I tried to do everything right. But after 18 years of marriage, I found myself divorced, alone, and left to raise my 3 children by myself. I was exhausted, broken. I was so overwhelmed by the weight of single motherhood and the constant pressure to hold it all together. So at the age of 39, I found myself back in that same dark place. The place where hope feels like a stranger. And for the second time in my life, I tried to end it again. And you know, even now, saying those words out loud makes my chest tighten. But I share them because someone listening might be there right now. I need you to know you are not alone. You are not weak. You are not a burden. Looking back, even in my attempts, something inside me was still fighting to live. There was still a spark, a silver light, a whisper inside saying, "This is not the end. Hold on. I'm still here." And if you're listening to this and you're in that place, I want you to hear me. You are not your pain. You are merely that. You are not your past. Not even close. You are not the lies your depression tells you. Your life matters. Always. If you're listening to this and carrying your own shadows, I want to pause and speak straight to your heart. I know what it feels like to sit in silence, to wonder if anyone would believe you, to question if your life has any meaning at all. I know what it's like to carry a smile on the outside while your soul is screaming on the inside. And I know how heavy it feels to hold pain you didn't ask for. Pain that was pressed into you by someone else's choices. But hear me, and hear me loud and clear. Your story matters. Your tears matters. Your breath matters. You are not invisible. No matter how much the darkness tries to convince you otherwise. You, my dear, just like me, you deserve to be here. Maybe you've been carrying shame that was never yours to hold. Maybe you've been running from memories that still find their way into your present. Maybe you've been numbing yourself just to survive another day. I need you to know, surviving is already proof of your strength. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, trust me, it's there. And I want you to sit with this truth. Everything you've walked through, okay? Everything you thought would destroy you has not taken you out. You are still here. And that means there is still more for your life. So ask yourself, what am I still hiding from myself? What is the wound I keep buried because I'm afraid of what I'll feel if I face it? And what would it mean to look at that wound, not with judgment, but with compassion? Your healing won't come from erasing your past. I know that all too well. It will come from learning to hold it differently, to tell yourself, yes, this happened. Yes, it hurt me. But it does not get to own me anymore. And I promise you, my dear, the moment you choose to believe that your worth is not tied to your wounds, you begin to break free. You are more than what was done to you. You are more than the moment you wanted to give up. You are more than the silence you were forced into. Give yourself grace. You are still becoming. And even in the ashes of everything you've lost, there is still life waiting to rise. For me, the turning point wasn't one big moment. It was small ones. It was the day I realized that even in my darkest moments, I was still breathing. And that meant something inside me wanted to live. It was learning that I didn't have to carry all of it all alone. That speaking my truth, even in broken whispers, was a form of healing. It was choosing over and over again to stay even when my mind screamed otherwise. But here's what I come to understand. Healing is not about pretending the abuse never happened. It's about acknowledging that it did and still choosing to rise from it. My wounds were heavy. They were soaked with shame, with silence, with rejection, and years of pain. For a long time, I believed those wounds defined me. But slowly I began to see that they were only chapters of my story, not the whole book. I start to peel back the layers of silence. I let myself cry. I sure did. I let myself rage. I let myself grieve the childhood I never had. And in that grieving, I found pieces of myself I thought I had lost forever. I realized that forgiveness was never about excusing what happened. It was about releasing myself from the chains of bitterness. Every time I spoke my story out loud, the shame lost a little bit of its grip. Every time I chose to show up for my children with love instead of repeating the cycles I had inherited, I was breaking generational curses. Every time I looked in the mirror and told myself, you are worthy. You are enough. You are not what happened to you. I was reclaiming grounds the enemy thought he had stolen from me. Healing didn't erase the scars, but it gave them new meaning. They became proof that I had survived what tried to destroy me. They became evidence of my strength, not my shame. Depression taught me about pain, but it also taught me about resilience. Because every day I woke up, even when I didn't want to, I was still fighting. Every tears I cried was proof I was still alive, still capable of feeling, still capable of healing. And the truth is, my abuse didn't get the final word. My wounds didn't get the final word. Oh no. My depression didn't get the final word. I did. I chose to live. I chose to heal. And I chose to believe that even in the darkest places, there is still light waiting for me. If you are walking through depression right now, please hear me. You are not your pain. You, my dear, you are not your wounds. You are not the lies your depression tells you in the middle of the night. You are more, so much more. Healing doesn't mean the darkness disappears overnight. It means learning to carry light with you even in the shadows. It means giving yourself permission to grieve, to feel, to release. And it means slowly, step by step, choosing to believe that your story isn't over yet. I want to leave you with some questions, and I don't want you to rush through them. These aren't surface level questions, okay? They're meant to go beneath the layers, into the places you've maybe avoided or buried. So if you can, take a pen and a notebook, and please be still with these words. When I think back to my childhood, what wound still echoes in my life today? How does it show up in the way I love, trust, or see myself? Where in my life did I stop believing my voice mattered? And what would it look like to reclaim that voice now as the person I am today? What pain am I still carrying that doesn't belong to me? Pain that was handed down through silence, abuse, or rejection. And what would it mean to finally lay it down? When depression whispers its lies, that I am unworthy, that I am forgotten, that I am broken beyond repair, what truth can I begin speaking back to it, even if my voice shakes? What small act of love can I offer myself today? Not tomorrow, not one day, but right now, as proof that I am still here and still worthy of healing. If my scars could speak, what would they say about my survival? About my courage? About the battles I've fought in silence that no one else even knows about? Who do I become when I refuse to let my past be the author of my future? What would it look like to finally step into that version of me? My loves, take your time, okay? These aren't questions to answer in one sitting. They're seeds to plant in the soil of your healing journey. Some may bloom right away, and some may take years. But every time you come back to them, you're giving yourself permission to go deeper, to be more honest, to heal in ways you didn't think were possible. Because you deserve to find strength in the very places that once tried to break you. Thank you so much for holding space with me today. And before I go, I need to say this. If you are struggling right now, if you feel like you're at the end of your rope or thinking about harming yourself, please reach out for help immediately. In the US, you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, it's free, it's 24/7, and most importantly, it's confidential. If you're in another country, please look up your local crisis hotline right now. Remember, you deserve to be here because you matter. Your life matters, and you deserve help and support. Thank you so much for listening. You are so loved. I love you so much. And until next time, keep breathing, keep fighting, and as always, keep choosing you. I will catch you on the next episode.